I'm back with my Disney rewatch number 5, and up this time was Dumbo, which was released in 1941. And jumping into this movie, I have to say, I don't remember a thing from this movie. Now, I know that I did watch it at a certain point of my childhood, but I went in here without knowing a thing about the plot, about the characters, and as the movie went on, I just kept being more and more surprised because I really, truly just didn't remember anything about this movie. So the movie opens up with these storks bringing in all these baby animals, and then unfortunately, the mama elephant doesn't get her baby until the very last second when that stork finally comes and drops it off. And then we get introduced to these elephants, and they are just what feels like to me a bunch of Karen elephants. They are just so rude to Dumbo's mom and to Dumbo, and they're just constantly like picking on the both of them, and it's just crazy how you had Karens back in 1941. And it was really cool to see Casey Jr. back in Dumbo. We saw him in The Reluctant Dragon, so it was cool to kind of see that bridging those two movies and seeing how the animators created those train sounds that you end up hearing in this movie. Is Casey Jr. the little engine that could? Because my man's going up that mountain going, I think I can, and I'm pretty sure that that is the little engine that could. So maybe there's some parallels there. And man, did I feel so bad for Dumbo and his mom when those kids start bullying him at the circus. The mom steps in and then gets basically blamed for attacking the humans, goes and gets locked in that cage and is labeled like a mad animal or mad elephant, something like that. And it was just heartbreaking to see the mom and Dumbo be separated. And I think that's going to be a theme from the movies now on, because everyone mentions, oh, in Disney movies, the mom or dad either die, they go missing, something happens to them. So to see that separation start here, it kind of broke my heart. And then the Karens are back and they shun Dumbo. They basically say he's not an elephant, and I just cannot stand these elephants at all. Then our man Timothy comes into the picture, and I just love what a great positive energy he brings. He wants to make Dumbo the star attraction at the circus, and he just continues to find ways to get him involved. So Timothy ends up convincing the ringmaster to make a pyramid of elephants with Dumbo at the top as the star with his big ears, and it ends up just falling to pieces, literally. Poor Dumbo trips on his ears, causes all of the elephants to fall, and the whole circus tent and everything to just get completely demolished. The people run out. Poor Dumbo gets relegated to being the clown, the butt of the joke for all the future events. Just felt so bad for the little guy, and he still doesn't have his mom around. And then we get to this scene with the song Baby of Mine. Dumbo's mom is singing to Dumbo, but they can't see each other's faces, but he's trying to console her. I'm sure he's probably consoling her a little bit too, and it was just such an emotional scene. And then we get to the part of the movie where it just takes like a complete 180. I did not understand at all what, again, I don't remember the plot of this movie, but the direction it went, wild. We see the clowns drinking either beer, champagne, something. They're toasting, they're having a great time. Dumbo ends up drinking a bunch of it, so does Timothy, and then they go on this literal like trip. We have the pink elephants coming through, and it is just wild that I guess they're drunk, but maybe there's something else in the champagne beer. I don't even know what they're drinking. It was just crazy to see this in a child's movie. It was a cool scene. I liked the pink elephant scene. I thought it was pretty creative. But just when you go and think about, oh, it's because these animals, these Dumbo and Timothy, they're either high or drunk on something. This is a kids movie, apparently. Just didn't seem like that was a great fit for this age group. And then they end up awake in a tree, trying to figure out how they got in the tree, and then they meet these birds. And I'm sure that this point has been beaten to death already, but again, as someone coming in having not seen these movies since I was a kid, especially this movie that I don't even remember, just completely inappropriate racist stereotypes being shown with these crows, and just really not needed in these movies. But the crows do give him his magic feather. Dumbo learns that he can fly, and then he becomes the star of the show. He ends up flying from the huge building, and everyone loves him. He gets famous. And then mom gets out of the little cell she was in. They're on the train. I kind of wish, and then you see the Karen elephants though, kind of like in the train too, going, I wanted a worser fate for them. There's no real villain to the story, I guess, but I did not like them, and I wish something worse would have happened to them. But overall, I really enjoyed the movie. Again, I did not remember the plot at all. I thought that Dumbo discovered he could fly like at the beginning of the movie. We knew he had the big ears. I figured that was what would happen. I thought the movie revolved around him flying, but clearly I just don't remember these Disney animated movies at all. And I do have to say, I love the message of this movie. Dumbo here had big ears, And despite being made fun of and being bullied for it, he used those big ears. It became part of him. He owned it. He used it to help him fly, and he became a huge star. And when I was a kid, I used to get made fun of for my big ears all the time. And I always was told, you're going to grow into them. You're going to grow into them. But it was really cool to just see this positive message from Disney basically say it doesn't matter how you look. If you got something unique about yourself, own it and find a way to, use it for your success. So there weren't really any songs that I remembered from this movie, and I don't think that any of them are really memorable, but I do have to say Baby of Mine was my favorite song from this movie. And I really enjoyed the movie of Dumbo. Again, I didn't know what to expect and I didn't remember much of it. So for this movie, I am going to give it a 7 out of 10. I thought it was really well. I'm giving it the same rating that I gave Snow White. I really enjoyed the plot. I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the relationships that they had. Yeah, we didn't need the racist stereotype birds in there. We didn't need the weird LSD trip, although it was a fun scene. I like the pink elephant scene. But that's why I'm giving this one a 7 out of 10. Next on my Disney rewatch is Bambi, and I already know how that movie goes. I do remember that plot at least. I do know that it starts off with a very emotional scene of a parent not making it through the whole movie. But besides that, I don't really remember most of it. So I'm looking forward for my next movie review.